Pindy Rochelle Stevens. I've lived in my present address for 25 years in June. Oh, it helped me in a time when I had lost a partner and fell into depression and couldn't work anymore because I just couldn't function. And so I was placed into public housing.
Yes, my name's Barry Gardner, better known around the area as Barney. In public housing, if I wouldn't have been here in public housing, I don't know where I would have ended up. I could end up anywhere. So public housing has helped me, kept me here to work where I live.
Hi, I'm Patty O'Leary. I've lived in public housing about 12 years. Originally my partner got diagnosed with cancer. We lived up in Byron Bay, had a place up there and ended up losing everything. We had to move down here to be close to hospitals and because he was terminally ill, he died and that was pretty full on. And after that, I got really sick. It was a freak thing that happened to me and I didn't walk for a number of years. You know, I'm walking again, but I still have chronic pain, and if it hadn't been for public housing, I actually don't know where I would have been.
My name is Myra Demetria and I now live in Sirius in Cumberland Street, and I have lived in the city for 55 years. I'm 88, 89 this year. Yes, I have wet macular degeneration and I have injections in my eyes. Even the smallest step I find it difficult to climb up, and there's no steps. There's ramps and there's not a step in my unit.
My name's Daryl James Payne. I've lived in public housing for 9 years at Redfern. Changed my life completely since I've had public housing. Prior to getting tenancy here in Redfern, I was homeless for most of the previous 15 or so years. Since I had my own housing, I've been less prone to addiction.
I would. Yes, very much so. Very much so. I mean, I love where I am, and everyone has dreams. And I think if I won 32 million or 30 million or 10 million, I'd be out of there and into my own home.
The only place I'd move out of public housing would into private rental in this area, because it's if I'm not tied to a work situation, I don't want to lose my family. Not family, they're all gone, but I don't want to lose my friends and neighbours. And if I had a bit of luck and I was able to private rent or even buy, it would certainly be within this area, even if it took every last dollar.
Not really, unless somebody gave me $500,000.
If I could get private housing, if I had the means, yeah, I would do. It's the cost of the rental cost, or it's just out of the question to buy any property. But I can't even afford to go halfway in the rental market the way it is.
If I get back to work again and I can afford it, of course.
The Central Business District, because I've been to my ophthalmologist and my general practitioner for a quarter of a century, and I'm not about to change at 88. There's a community and people I know and help me, and I can help them.
I live in the inner city, and that has been really beneficial because of the work I do. A lot of the services are in the inner city.
I'm living in Redfern now, where there's a concentration of housing, high rise, and quite a few people. Some of the supports I've had with my addiction are based around here, where I've previously used the methadone program to clean and maintain some sobriety, and so I have a long, established relationship there with a whole bunch of counsellors and doctors and the likes that have been good for me in the past.
Living in Surrey Hills is very beneficial to my life. and my well-being. Would change dramatically because I would have to rely more so on public transport to get to and from health professionals. It would be like starting all over again.
If you sell properties within that suburb, that money should be used to fund the repairs and maintenance of that suburb.
I don't know. I really don't know. I can see the benefits of it to reduce the waiting list. Then I see the negative side of it. Why should I move out of my home that I've been in for so long?
If you knew for a fact they were doing that, I'd say yes, but I don't see any proof of it.
I think they should be allowed to stay as long as they need, but they need to show that need.
It's hard for anyone to measure when our needs have been, you know, how long do we let people stay in housing, and where do we move them out to?
I think people should be able to stay in public housing for as long as they need to and have it needs-based, and whatever that might look at, you know, like for each individual.
I think it depends on their wage, and there should be no cap on the time, because you take some people that have moved in, they're pensioners. I mean, unless they win a lottery or they get a windfall somewhere, well, that's it. What are you going to do? I mean, I see them now, some of the elderly people in their 70s, given 10-year leases. I mean, these people are not going to, unless they win the lottery, be able to afford private rental. So the department should be looking at them and say, right, you can move when your circumstances change. And they do that every 6 months. They ask us, you know, any change to your circumstances.
I think everyone should have a place to live. I would hate to be one of the homeless people on the street.
Addiction's the sort of thing where it never really goes away, so I'm prone to relapse anyway, and to the point where I almost lost my tenancy last year. And I had to go before the tribunal, and it was very it really came within a hair of having my tenancy terminated, and that was pretty scary for me, because I don't think I can live on the streets the way I did for so long. For me, it's been a godsend. I don't know statistically how many people are able to change their ways, you know, and I'd like to think we live in the sort of society that does, you know, give people the option. You know, like I was 12 years on the list to get housing, so you know, I'd like to think that you don't lose it so quickly, you know, when you wait so long to get in.